Welcome to DentonRadio.com, powered in part by Classic of Denton. The views and opinions expressed by the show hosts and their guests are those of the show host and guests, and not necessarily those of the sponsors, DentonRadio.com, or the Denton Convention and Visitors Bureau. For more information, visit the Policies and Procedures page at DentonRadio.com. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us here at Denton Radio. We are coming at you live from our booth and excited to be bringing you more and more information on the upcoming Thin Line Fest. It is not canceled. It is just coming to you. You're going to have an awesome virtual experience this year. And so all throughout the week, we're going to be bringing you more and more updates on what all is happening. And I am super excited for who we're talking to right now. On the phone with us, we have Susan Carol Davis. How are you?
I am great.
Well, thank
I am
you.
great, surrounded by coffee and computer and Denton Radio.
Love it. Perfect. Well, thank you very much for being with us today. For those that don't know, Susan is the director of film production or film programming, right?
Film programming.
Film programming. So she is the one that has all the information on what is happening. So give everybody a rundown, just logistically, how everything's gonna get to work and how they're still gonna get to enjoy the films and everything for Thin Line.
Sure. First step is to register to be able to watch the films, and you can do that from our website, thinline.us.
Perfect.
Register, and it takes you right to a homepage for our streaming site. Once you have signed in and gotten a password, you'll then get a confirmation by email, and through that means you'll be able to go back into the site and register for the different films that you want to see.
Perfect.
And you can even, if you're not here in Denton for some reason, if you're out of town in a different time zone, you can select a time zone for your streaming site. So let's say a film says 8 p.m. here in Denton, but you're on the East Coast, you will see it appear as 9 p.m.
Cool.
An hour later in your virtual world. So you'll get actually an email reminder that your screening is coming up, and you can even set the amount of time you need to have that alert come, whether it's 30 minutes the day before or 5 minutes till.
Perfect.
Then on comes the screen. We'll have our usual reel of advertisements about sponsors and our trailers for different films that are available to see. On comes a community partner, in many cases by voice, to tell you about their organization. Just for instance, Oak Cliff Film Festival is one that will be doing that.
Cool.
Or St. Andrew Presbyterian Church. Then a film host introduces you to the entire screening experience.
Cool.
And that same film host, who is a volunteer like myself, will conduct the Q&A post-screening, 15 minutes, with filmmakers from literally all around the world.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
That's
that's the process. You register, you sign up for the films you want to see, you go to see them on your screen, and it can be on your phone. Of course, we're hopeful people will put it on some kind of a larger screen, and you can, connect it to your TV with the right kind of cable attachment too.
So this is going to be time sensitive. If you're looking to enjoy a particular film, you're going to have to make sure you're tuning in at the right time.
Yes, because you can't rewind, you can't go forward, you can't go back. It's a live stream. So if you see it on the schedule twice, if you happen to miss it the first time, you can, register for the second screening.
Cool.
But you can't do anything like we can on television with the DVR, go backwards and forwards and all of that.
Sure. Very cool. Well, that's going to just amplify that interactive Q&A experience even more, though.
Sure.
I think that's super cool that we're going to get to interact with these filmmakers and producers and people doing all this. This is going to be really awesome. And anybody from anywhere can be tuned in, right? I mean,
That is correct. That is correct. Uh-huh. We have some films, that are coming from different continents,
yeah.
and those filmmakers can encourage their friends and family and fans to also register. Now, it'll totally depend on the kind of internet access they have wherever they are. But I have found that sometimes places where you wouldn't expect it to be that great turn out to be just
Awesome.
absolutely fine.
Good. Good.
So we want people to experiment and give it a whirl.
Awesome. Well, I'm so excited about this. I know, with a lot of festivals canceling and a lot of events canceling, and for good reason, to try and make sure that everybody's
Oh,
safe and everything.
yes,
I'm so
absolutely.
appreciative that you guys are going through all these extra steps to try and still provide these documentaries for us to get to see.
Yes,
Because we're going crazy, Susan. We're going crazy, and we need
yes,
something to do.
yes.
So,
Well, I'll tell you, this year was one of I've programmed for 3 years as the director of film programming, and I think this was probably this was the most difficult year
mm,
because now with so many opportunities for films to go straight to streaming or distribution from a festival like Sundance
hmm
or South by Southwest. Of course, that didn't happen this year, but with Sundance, for instance, we are finding it harder to get commitments from major films
mm,
to be in a festival because they may want to immediately go into a different kind of platform
hmm
where they can have a return on their investment in making the
mm,
film. And of course, that makes sense that they would need to do that so they can make other films. But yeah, I looked really long and hard all through the year at films that were in production, films that were going to finish up before our fest. Um, didn't always get yeses on ones that I was seeking out, but it never failed that when one did not come to pass, something came in its place that was just exactly right for our audience.
good.
So I'm a Sherlock Holmes kind of gal.
I like that. Very, very cool. Well, you guys have such a great team over there. They're doing so many cool
We do
things.
have a good team, boy. We do. We really do.
So
We do. I have a screening team. I guess you may know that
I
too.
didn't.
I have a group of volunteers who usually about 8 a year who will watch films that are submitted to us, both short films and feature films, and give me input. Um,
Cool.
and that's a huge help, of course, because we get many, several hundred
Yeah, of course.
submissions. And also, they will hear about things from other filmmakers or other people they know in other parts of the country, and they'll say, "Hey, you ought to go check out this film," and I'll go and do research on it and see if it's right for Thin Line.
Cool.
So,
Well, I'm glad
yes.
you have some people. I mean, with as many films as you guys have, for you to have to watch all of them, you wouldn't be able to do much else.
Well, now the truth of the matter, I do watch them all. I
Wow.
do watch them all, but
Okay.
I have this team who is also doing that as well. And if as things are coming in, there's one that is getting a lot of high marks from everybody who's watching it, then I immediately want to begin a conversation with that filmmaker to find out what are their plans.
Yeah.
Are they planning to try to be at our festival? Are they submitting to other festivals that might conflict with ours? So those screeners, kind of point me in different directions so that I have a timely conversation with the filmmaker who has, options to go other
Yeah.
places, not just here.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Well, anything else we want to touch on as far as things people are going to get to experience and ways they can best
Oh
enjoy Thin Line?
yeah. Well, okay. So on this platform, if you're at a live screening, you can raise your hand and you get to ask a question. But with our setup with Zoom, you can type in a question and
Cool.
that question will pop up and I'll see it and so will the filmmaker. And the question that let's say there's one question that everybody who's virtually watching thinks is just an amazing question, they can like high five it and that
Oh,
question
cool.
goes to the top.
That's awesome.
So, as a film host, there are 6 or 7 of us. And again, the film hosts are around the country too. They're
That's
not
cool.
just here, they're in Louisiana and Illinois, 2 places in Illinois, and then here in Texas.
Wow.
But you're not going to be left out of being able to ask a filmmaker a question.
So cool.
Hmm.
Such a fun experience.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I know where I'm going to be for Thin Line. I hope I know where the rest of you guys are going to be.
Yeah, be sure and get your snacks. You need all the
Yeah.
usual things that I don't guess you have someone bringing the food to you in your chair. Well, you might.
You might.
You might.
You might.
Yeah, yeah, you might.
Well, guys, clear your calendars the 25th through the 29th.
Please
You were
do.
looking at
Please
some
do.
awesome, awesome films. Susan, thank
Oh,
you so
yeah.
much for coming and being on with us today.
You are so welcome. I'll hope to talk with you again soon about another festival, but for this time and now, 2020 Thin Line Virtual is going to be fab.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. Guys, gotta check it out. Check it all. Tune into all of it at
Yes.
thinline.us. Thank you
Yeah, thank you,
again.
Jake.
Yes, of course, of course, of course. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you again, Susan, for being here. We'll
You
see you
bet.
guys on the next one here at
Okay.
dentonradio.com. Well, thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show. We want to thank our partners and sponsors who made this show possible. And now stick around for a word from all of us here at Discover Denton. Do you love live music? If so, make Denton, Texas your next vacation. Find more information at discoverdenton.com.